And now we're doing a little series on the Yugoslavian AK-47. It's an interesting little critter. Most of what Zastava made for the Yugoslavian military was a take on Soviet hardware, but different. For example, the M57 Tokarev was sort of similar, but had a longer magazine, longer grip, different mag release, etc. Well, this is an M70. Original M70 with the milled receiver. This is a re-weld using a Wiselight Arms center section. I picked this up last year. Initially, Yugoslavia was going to just produce a milled AK-47 clone. Then they started doing alterations, changes, adding grenade launching capability, extending handguards. The prototypes that were they were produced several thousand, fixed stock, folding stock, etc., are informally called the M64, although there's no such designation on the gun. It's just kind of what U.S. collectors call them. The M64s had some interesting features. An internal bolt hold-open system is one of them, but it ended up ultimately proving to be a little too costly and or fragile for military use, and they dropped it. This is the M70, came next. It was the first official adopted one. Has a milled receiver, similar to the original AK-47. Has a lightning cut on this side. For some reason they dropped the lightning cut on the left side though, so it's just a slab side receiver. Still has the medium heavy profile barrel, like the original AK-47, although it has a more AKM style bayonet lug under the gas block here. 14mm threaded barrel with a muzzle nut. Of course, these flip up grenade sights, which everyone likes. Lock in place there. When they're locked, they cut off the gas system. You screw on a grenade attachment up here and launch rifle grenades. It's also why there's a rubber butt plate here. These are extended hand guards. They're about 1 inch longer with 3 vent slots instead of 2 than your standard AK. Gives you a little more surface area to put your hand on without risking burning yourself. Another interesting feature are flip-up night sights. The back ones are here. Of course, these are dead long ago and painted over probably. And up here, they're there. These are the paddles. The buttstock, as you can see, doesn't have a traditional tang on the top or bottom. Instead, it has one long screw that screws directly into the back of the receiver. The sling swivel is in the standard spot of an AK-47. There's this detent plunger here. When it's not pressed, you can't unlock the gun. If you want, if you press it, you can slip that forward and take your dust cover off. They did that to lock for grenade launching. This is an original kit gun, obviously. Notice the bolt stays back. The gun itself does not have a bolt hole open, but this is a Yugo pattern mag with a bolt hold open follower. So it'll hold open on your last shot to let you know you're out. But as soon as you pull the mag, obviously it goes back forward. It's one of those other different things they did. Also, the pistol grip is different. It's ribbed on this side. There's a thumb rest on this side here. It's quite a comfortable grip. APCO trigger grip. Nice place for your thumb here. Well built guns. Happy to have it. Anytime I can pick up a milled receiver AK, I do. Just not all that common today. This is the first of the Yugoslavians. Okay, next up we have a Yugoslavian pattern Zastava M72. This was the LMG version of their AK. Strongly based on the RPK, but with a few differences. I'm going to pop the bipod here and rest it on the table because it is heavy. Not as heavy as the FAL we saw, but heavy enough. Okay. As you can see, it's quite a bit longer than a standard AK. It's got a 22-inch long, heavy barrel, heavier than the M70 we just saw by far. Also unique to the M72 pattern, it's ribbed here, vertically ribbed. Cooling fins, I'm sure is why. The bipod is an RPK standard. It does pivot, as you can see, in that one direction. Clips on. 14mm threaded barrel. No bayonet lug. Long cleaning rod. Does not have the extended handguards. Has short handguards. The lower is fatter, thicker, like an RPK. But it's not extended like the infantry rifles. Like the standard Soviet RPK, it has windage adjustable rear sights, as well as elevation. Since this does not have grenade cutoff, it does not have the retaining pin for the dust cover. You can just take it off like a standard AK. I would say it has a RPK 1.5mm thick stamped receiver with bulged trunnion, except most of Zastava's guns, or at least a good portion, also had the same receiver, so they tended to stick with that. It also has a bolt hold open mag in it. Again, there's no internal hold open, so when you pull the mag, forward it goes. To the best of my knowledge, and I've never seen them, Zastava, Yugoslavia, never manufactured drum magazines or 40-round mags for this weapon. They just made 30. That said, quite a few drums and higher capacity mags were purchased or imported or given to Yugoslavia from, Romania, Bulgaria, wherever during their wars. I also know some East German gear made it over there. In fact, my East German AK kit came out of the former Yugoslavia, so there were some drums in circulation, but they weren't original to that country. They were probably made in East Germany, Russia, wherever. Has the same buttstock as the M70. This one's got some interesting carving on it. Same rubber recoil pad. Same sling and sling swivel location back here. Notice the fatter hook up here, unlike your standard AK. They use the same sling for their SKS and their AKs and their RPKs and all kinds of things. This one is a kit built. It's one of the earlier kits that actually came in with a decent barrel. A Nodak receiver, custom made for the M72. In fact, it's even marked M72. It's actually marked M72 Sporter like the Century guns, but it was just a receiver sold directly from Nodak to us. We built this kit up. Built a few of them up, actually. They're fun guns. Yeah, this was the LMG in service during the rather tragic Yugoslavian civil wars, and I'm sure that this rifle saw some kind of service. As you can see, the wood's not mint. It's not in bad shape, not cracked or split, but it's got dings and dongs and carvings, and the bluing is, I didn't ever have it even re-blued. I kind of like the original war look. Next up, we have a recent release from Century Arms, came out late last year. It is the Zastava O-PAP M70. It is made in Serbia today from some surplus and some new parts. It's based on a M70B3. A lot of people know the B1, B2. This is the B3 variant. Has the same 1.5mm RPK thick receiver with bulged trunnion. This is a Zastava built weapon. Zastava barrel, Zastava receiver. These are imported with thumbhole stocks and single stack mag wheels. Once they're imported, Century puts on, in the case of the O-PAPs, military furniture, handguards, buttstock. You can see the nice crest in it. It's kind of burned in there. Unlike some of the earlier PAPs, these do have the correct double stack bolt. So you won't have any feeding trouble. They corrected it. I've got another bolt hold open mag in here, as you can see. stiff, fighting against the spring. There we go. Tap co-trigger grip again. Unlike the first PAPs, this does not have the late style slot cut in the safety. It's the early military style without it. It does have a threaded barrel. I have a slant brake on the end, which is correct for later style Zastava guns. Because it's an import, it has the bayonet lug and the grenade sights were never there, as you can see, which Zastava did rifles both way. It doesn't have the paddles for the night sights, but it has a place where they can be easily installed without any milling. I will probably throw night sights on it eventually. It does have the retaining pin back here. Obviously it does have the rubber butt plate, like an original. One of the worst things about the first PAP M70s that came in was a dust cover mounted Picatinny rail. Contrary to some belief, that was a part installed by Zastava, but it was not a very good part. These later ones have a side mounted rail that's riveted to the receiver, so it's rock solid. It's kind of an SVD style where it's really long. Because of this rail being here, the standard sling swivel, I don't know where it would go. As you can see, I just kind of have the sling wrapped around the buttstock for now with some piece of a cleaning rope, Yugoslavian cleaning rope on there. I will probably just end up drilling a swivel on this flat base right here and putting it here like on an AKM just to have a complete sling swivel. I don't know what it is with imported rifles, just like the AMD65 before. They don't often import them with the rear sling swivel. They have the front always, but I sure wish they'd take a key and put the rear swivels in. It wouldn't violate any import restrictions, and I like having slings on my guns. But these are great because they are Zastava built guns with a minimum number of US parts and US tampering. Really, they look a lot like the Mitchell's guns from the 80s. Even the Mitchell's M70s that came in back in the 80s were lacking the grenade sights and stuff. So you're really getting close to what was brought in back in the 80s. The cost is right on these. They're about $600 right now with one or two mags, depending on where you get it. And for a quality built gun with a heavy duty receiver and a slightly thicker than standard barrel, this is more of an AK-47 profile barrel. That's because when they went to the stamped receiver, they were kind of working back from the original 47 design, not the AKM design, much like how the Chinese did it. So there's a lot of vestigial things with these that are AK-47 in nature. Good, solid, pretty heavy gun. Reliable, fun to shoot. I'm happy to have a real Zastava built AK in my stable now. I sold my Century-made M70B1 to get this, and even my AB2, just because, as much as parts guns don't bother me, I'd still rather have a factory-built gun. And I think in future, imported guns like this will always be more collectible than even well-made parts guns. And our final gun in the Yugoslavian Serbian Zastava series is the PAP M92 PV pistol. I think this is a really cool gun. When these came out about a year and a half ago, I thought it was great. It's really one of the very few, the only other one I can think of is the Arsenal pistol. It's one of the very few imported AKSU type guns brought into the USA. Really all of the other AKSUs are parts kits built. This is imported from Serbia. It's entirely built by Zastava. Since it is a pistol, not a rifle, it does not fall under 922R, which means it can come in with a standard high-capacity magwell. Nice mag fit, no wobble there. In fact, it may be a little too tight, but that'll wear in, especially when the mags wear in. No US parts, threaded barrel, all new parts, serial matching, nice blued finish. 10-inch barrel, so shorter than a Draco. This is a 1mm thick receiver, which is correct for the M92. They use 1mm, not 1.5. I'm sure to save on weight, and because of the class of the gun, there's just no reason. Again, bolt hold open mag. Difference, this one has the slot cut, if I can get it here, in the safety. So if you pull back, slip your safety up, you can catch it in the slot there. Do it. There we go. Caught in there. That way you can pull your mag out. Start putting another mag in. Your bolt's still back. It's a lot easier to do when you're not on camera, I tell you. Then, to chamber another round, just, there you go. Of course now it's empty, so it's not going to go forward, but, you know, on a gun that had a new mag in it, new guns, stiff guns, it would be, you know, say we had an empty, take it out, put a full in, there you go, there you go. Still not as good as an automatic bolt hold open with a lever, but they're getting there, you know, for what it is, and this means it can take standard AK mags without having anything specialized. These do come with 2 Zastava pattern mags. They do have the flip-up night sight in the front, although it has a white dot for low light because of the whole radioactive thing for import. So it does have a crank style rear sight on top. L flip there. It's hinged on top, like any crank. Unlike the Bulgarian and Russian pattern, it's not spring-loaded, so it doesn't spring forward. It's pretty stiff that it stays where you put it, but it's not spring-loaded. Blued finish, Yugo pattern pistol grip, combo front sight. These still come in with a muzzle nut, but once they're in country, it's legal to put a flash hider on them. This is an original Zastava flash hider. Recently, in the last couple of months, Century has now begun to offer the flash hiders. So you can buy these as a unit. They come with the pin, the spring, everything you need. Buy the gun, buy the hider. I haven't smoothed out the weld yet, but I broke the weld to get the muzzle nut off with just a hand file. So just take out the little bit of weld off, unscrew the old muzzle nut, screw on the new hider, put in your pins, and you're one step closer to an original gun. These boosters are cool. It also acts as an expansion chamber with a little bit of back pressure to help with reliability. No sling on it yet. There's some sling swivel plates you can put back here. I may SBR it and put a stock on it under folding stock. I may do something, but I will do something for a sling swivel. Again, I like sling swivels on my guns. But I think it's really neat that they're importing a true AKSU type gun. Has all the AKSU features. There are some minor differences from, you know, the Russian 5.45 version. This is in 7.62x39. Russia and Bulgaria did make some AKSUs in that caliber as well, mostly for export. The barrel's a little bit longer. Those usually have 9-inch barrels. This one has 10. As I showed you, the dust cover is a little bit different. Up here, the hinge is just a little bit different. The bolt hold open catch, the Russian ones don't have it. Like a lot of Yugoslavian guns, this one has extended handguards with the 3 vent holes, so that's different. Actually, probably better. The muzzle device is virtually the same, enlarged for 7.62, of course. Same stamped receiver. Yeah, pretty much all the same otherwise. The gas system is just a hair longer to be commensurate with the barrel. But, they shoot good. I found them to be very reliable, except they don't always like hollow points, so keep that in mind. FMJ is probably the way to go with these. Really, any of these guns, Dracos, AKSU builds from parts kits, I have to stick with that. But kind of like with the O-PAP, we have original Zastava built guns. I don't know how long they'll be around. Century started doing this with Zastava once the reliability from Cougar in Romania went down, trying to find new sources of AKs for us. Anyway, that's it for the Yugoslavian series. Thanks for watching.